Today I fucked up by hiring a male babysitter, 15M, for my kid, 8M, which ended in my teenage son, 16M, finding a boyfriend. Obligatory first time poster, not a native speaker, so thanks for any corrections. Last week, due to work-related reasons, my husband and myself were not going to be at home Friday night. Normally this wouldn't be a problem as my 16-year-old takes care of my 8-year-old when this happens, but he had soccer practice until 8 p.m. which means he was arriving home say 9. Too late. So we had to get a babysitter. Luckily for me, the school has a list of teens that are available for odd jobs and we could get one of there. Because we live a little bit far away and whoever came likely needed to stay the night, I decided no girls for obvious reasons. I know, sex should not be a taboo, but teenage hormones are teenage hormones, and modesty aside, my genes are good. My boy is quite handsome if I say so myself, and I don't want to be a grandma before reaching the 50s. So we get a boy, a pretty decent young man, a grade below my son, super friendly, with good references, perfect in all ways. I left Friday night trusting my awesome mama ideas. Come Saturday morning 7 a.m. and things are weird. First of all, my teenage son is awake. He would never, ever, not in a million years wake early on weekends. Last time I saw him do that he was 10. And both guys were, I don't know how to explain it, but you could feel it. They looked uncomfortable when talking to each other during breakfast, but at the same time wanted to talk, and on hindsight I can swear they were blushing like crazy. I didn't think too much of it until recently when I casually heard my son talking on the phone and he mentioned this kid's name, not at all common in our area. I also realized that this week he has been talking a lot in the phone. Normally he would just text. I know, it's all very vague. But while I never had the vibe my son could be gay is not entirely impossible. And I am sure something happened that night between them. Not a fan of learning the details on that one though. I guess time would tell, but it seems my little plan against teenage love completely backfired. Too long didn't read. I hired a male nanny for my little child instead of a girl because I wanted to prevent teenagers doing the snoo under my roof, but it seems I just played matchmaker for my son and his new partner. At least you know there's no chance of a teenage pregnancy. That's my only fear for my teen son and his GF. We learned he was sexually active because he came to us one morning and complained, why is the morning after pill so expensive? Man face palming. At least with that question you now know that he bought one, so no pregnancy lol. This almost sounds like your son pulled a malicious compliance. Mom decided not to hire a girl to babysit my little brother because I'm a teenage boy. Okay. As a young gay boy, my parents wouldn't let me have comic books because they had sexy women with large breasts. Meanwhile they had no problem with my WWE posters of sweaty half-naked men. Smiley face. Parents hate this one trick. Read on to learn what it is. You won't be a granny before 50. You got what you wished for. Until she hires a babysitter and discovers he is bi. Mom, you're not allowed to get a girlfriend. Son gets a boyfriend. Mom amused. Surprised gay Pikachu face. Today I fucked up and made an awkward comment to a guy buying condoms. I work as a bagger in one of the higher-end grocery stores in my area. I'm fairly new and this place is real big on customer service. Unloading the carts, bagging, taking groceries to their car, the whole 9 yards. Tonight it was slow and pretty chill. This guy comes rolling up with his young son driving one of those horrid kid carts. You know, the large monstrosities that you can't get around. I think, instead of him awkwardly fighting with it, I'll offer to unload it for him. Good customer service move, right? He nonchalantly says sure. I look and he's got 2 boxes of condoms and a thing of lube. Nothing else. Well, that got a bit awkward. Like, how am I supposed to make small talk with this guy who's clearly there with a purpose? I'm feeling a bit tongue-tied, so, not thinking, I just default to what I've been saying all day long. I hear myself say, so do you have any big plans for the weekend? Now I'm really uncomfortable. This guy turns and looks at me sorta serious like for a moment. Then he gets this big ole shit-eating grin on his face, leans to a bit on the cart and says, "Why yes I do now that you mention it." My co-worker running the register is now sprawled out laughing hysterically. He's laughing hysterically and then the damn toddler starts laughing at me too. I just have to stand there in all my awkwardness. Too long didn't read. Asked a customer buying only condoms if he had big plans for the weekend. I bought condoms at the gas station when I was 21 and one of the two girls tending the register asked me if I'd like a bag. Of course, stupid ass me being the weirdo I am replied, "I'll wear 'em out." They did not laugh. "I'll wear them out. This is fucking amazing. If it'll make you feel better, making conversation about something uncomfortable sometimes cheers me up. Last time I went to get condoms, I could only find them in the cashier's checkout. I waddled towards her and kinda mumbled that I need these, pointing towards them, and she suddenly got super excited. "Oh well, which one? These feel super good and these are extra safe, and these will last longer. I personally prefer these." I started laughing because this girl was more excited than I was about selecting condoms. When I finally made my choice, she went, "Well, have fun," and winked. Could have been awkward, but somehow her excitement made it so much more fun. Thanks early 20s condom cashier, for making the purchase so much easier. I liked how she threw in her preferences. Made me feel instantly comfortable. I was buying condoms one time. I got 2 boxes and the guy asked if I was going to a swingers party. I had no idea how to respond. "Yes, would you like to be my plus one?" One night when I was working at a grocery store doing the nightly stocking, a dude came in and he was wearing nothing but a leather jacket, in Texas, in summer, no shirt, a Speedo and what I believe were army boots. His purchase: 2 boxes of condoms and a bag of powdered donuts. The cashier raised an eyebrow and he actually said, "Hey, I got to give her breakfast, I'm not a scumbag." The whole stock crew rolled with laughter when she told us this. Edit: I'm not sure what the etiquette is here since I don't use Reddit a ton, but I appreciate the upvotes and awards. Thanks to everyone. You make this lurker feel very welcome. As a convenience store clerk, the only joke I ever make about condoms goes a little like this. Customer paying for condoms. Me: "And would you like your receipt?" Customer: "No thanks." Me: "Good, because we don't accept returns on those." Best I get a little chuckle and at worst I get mild confusion. Today I fucked up being in an old age home with my camera using a throwaway account because this post is directly related to my work as a news cameraman. This morning my job was to get footage of my journalist interviewing people at a retirement home. The story was about how people in old age homes are managing during the pandemic. Not the most exciting piece of journalism, but at least I didn't have to break a sweat. Or so I thought. This is how I imagined it happening. 1. Arrive at retirement home. 2. Film journalist interviewing staff. 3. Film journalist interviewing elderly people. 4. Film B-roll of staff and elderly people doing whatever they do on a daily basis. 5. Film journalist delivering her closing speech into camera and call it a day. This is how it actually happened. 1. Arrived at the retirement home and realized the staff, the elderly people, even some of the visitors, were all dressed up as if they were invited to the Oscars. It was like arriving at a fancy event in a mental institution and all the patients were competing for the camera's attention. 2. Filmed interviews with the staff in dimly lit offices that were decorated with fairy lights, dozens of balloons, and work desks covered with food and drinks, and not to mention carrot cake that gave me stomach cramps. 3. Filmed interviews with the elderly people who spent all of their screen time gossiping about each other instead of talking about their own experiences, which happened to be how I found out that the elderly person who made the carrot cake had a habit of sabotaging her own recipes and adding random ingredients. 4. While filming B-roll, an old woman tapped me on the shoulder and instructed me to follow her to her room to film photos of her grandchildren. but the moment we got to her room, she closed the door behind us and asked me how much I charged to shoot of videos. I was at a loss for words. The old woman tried to explain to me how she's trying to support her granddaughters of age, and one of the ways she wanted to show that support was to get her better video quality, which is where I had to come in. I cut her off before it got even creepier and asked her to please show me where the men's room was. 5. Thanks to that carrot cake, I was on the toilet with my face on my knees and my arms around my legs, praying for mercy on my asshole. 6. While I was in the men's room, struggling to close the floodgates between my butt cheeks, the old woman was right outside the entire time, unable to shut up about her granddaughters of. By the time my fucking colon got flushed down the toilet, one of the caretakers was kind enough to escort the old woman back to her room and leave me to do my job. 7. Filmed the journalist delivering her closing speech into camera and called it a day. 8. Got back to the office and handed my memory cards to the video editor. Got a call from the producer an hour later and was told that my camera was still recording when I was using the men's room. The camera was on the ground, pointing towards my feet, so luckily no one could see my face in its most vulnerable state, but my producer made it clear that based on the audio from that recording, it was the most disturbing sounds he's ever heard in his 15-year career in news. Now the whole office knows what I sound like when I shit. Too long didn't read. I had one job to do as a cameraman. Film a news story in a retirement home. I ended up getting food poisoning, trapped in a room with a porn-obsessed granny, and accidentally sharing footage of myself pooping for my boss to see. I'm sorry, but that was hilarious. Why were they all dressed up? Why is the old lady fucking up the recipes? Is the trying to get rid of someone? This could make pretty decent psycho thriller. I assume that everyone decided to dress up because they knew they were gonna be on TV and wanted to look their best. It made it tricky for me to make the retirement home look and feel like a retirement home when people in the background are walking around in dresses and high heels. Lol. The carrot cake maker was probably just senile. What a shit show. You should have tempted fate and said, could this day get any worse? I didn't have the stomach for it. It's not like editing suites don't have a jog/shuttle wheel, so it's not like the producer and editor couldn't have fast forwarded through your shit. No, they chose to listen to your shit in all its glory. Thank you for providing me with an argument for when I show my face in the office on Monday. I'm gonna tell my producer exactly what you just typed before putting my fingers in both ears and saying la 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 la. I think this is the funniest today I fucked up I've ever read, thanks.